in a way that is not good. We all know what is happening in the country. We all know that the president we have did not win the election, but Soludo is trying to paint it to make himself like, he want to market himself by gathering the people, the opposition party to praise President Tinubu. No, it will
Let's
not work.
even Gideon. Let's even leave the winning of the election or not winning the election. Peter Mbah's election is questionable. In short, a lot of people can argue that he didn't win. But are you not seeing that the man is delivering? Is there anybody now, right now, even people that hate him, that will swear with their life that he's not delivering? What are we not saying? So you rigged yourself in there. You understand? Let's even see that your government is going the right direction. This is what we are talking about. And so even if the government is going in the right direction, on what basis is Soludo telling Tinubu that a supposed Igbo party, the leader, like the party that is supposed to be the party that is leading us as Igbo, Nemi endorse? On what basis? Like, I need to understand it. Is this not an insult to us as Igbo? I swear, I need to punch somebody. Slicky Neddy, can we have you? Slicky Neddy, maybe you made a mistake and you have to remove yourself. Maybe you should come back. Onyeka, let's have your opinion, my brother.
Na my brother, onye analụ mgbọ ya, gịnị ka ọ ga-ede? Ọgụkwanụ gịnị? Onye kwado ije dee exam, kama ọ ya agụ akwụkwọ, ọ dịzi na-agba mbọ. Ewee rue mbọsị ya ga-ede exam a wee buyalịa, ife a wee dayalịa. Onye anwa wee nọdụzie so ya. Mgbọ ya adịrọ, mgbọ ọ kwesị iji wee dee ya bụ exam. That is my view on what is happening. If you steal an election and you're not ready, when it is time for governance, and it's only governance that people are interested in, okay? People are not interested in propaganda. Even if you go to the extent of appointing senior special assistants by your nonoga on P2B, because the president has gone to the extent of having a spokesperson for the government, and that's the only role that person is good for. He's talking about Toby. So ultimately, we have seen and we are seeing incompetency. That is at the federal level. Then coming to the disappointment called Soludo, a man that I campaigned for vigorously, had a lot of hopes. I mean, we thought that Soludo would walk in the footsteps of the Mike of this world, Michael. But we have seen that all he is interested in doing as governor, mediocrity, like you correctly highlighted. And of course, talking about people being focused on his friend. And they are very good friends. So maybe one day they may tell us what happened. Even though I suspect no jealousy between Charles. So, okay, I suspect. I have my reasons. But yeah. The president has visited Anambra State. I don't know whether he is still there. I don't know whether he has gone back. He's not likely to spend time. The president spends time only in France, okay? France and the United Kingdom. Visit to any other, and of course, Lagos, okay? But any other Nigerian city, states, the lives of the people, okay? And they will choreograph areas where he would visit and go to. Of course, chase away all the police people that are consistently, on a daily basis, committing crimes, stealing, looting, okay, extorting from the people of the Southeast, Nigerians that are living in the Southeast. This is our daily reality. Every day, the police, na anagego. You cannot even drive without having police money inside your car. Because if you don't, they'll start wasting your time. And you know, even if you have everything, in fact, most people even have everything, but they will still figure out ways of wasting your time. And the governor that calls himself a developmental person has not seen it fit to address this. You go to, did they take the president to Onisha Head Bridge? Because definitely the police in them, the way they cause traffic, there is always traffic there. Artificial traffic caused by the security people collecting money, putting up barriers, and they don't care. You will spend hours and hours, and you will get there. You will see them collecting money there, and it is okay. We are supposed to continue to tolerate these insults and inhumanities. Anyway, I hope that the Nigerian people are using their to count their teeth really at this point, because another opportunity for us to make a statement is coming, okay, for us to go a different direction. And for those that insist on a change of government, I am not interested in a change of government. The obedient movement, I do not speak for them, okay, but I know enough members of the movement to take a feel and hazard a guess that the obedient movement is animated by a greater force of collective positive change for the nation, not change of government. So for those that want us to come together, no problem. We are not against coming together. But we are not going to come together to go into the kind of primaries we know we are used to in the PDP and in the APC. Okay? So we go to that primary and do what we know how to do best, and they emerge victorious. And now expect the obedience, okay, to now throw in their support since we have defeated Obi in a clean primaries, quote and unquote, clean. You will now support our abomination of the candidates so that we will change government and the looting continues. No, we reject that. And we will campaign vigorously against any such abomination.
Onyeka, I want to ask you a quick question. Sorry for interrupting. What do you think? What do you make of Valentine Ozibu's, the campaign? Is it a miscalculation in your opinion? Do you think you should have had a little bit more patience, or maybe had gone to another party or something? Because I feel betrayed. I don't know how I feel. I'm just angry. And this is unlike me, because I used to I don't take some of
chekwa ajụjụ na ajụjụ ejo. Kedu ihe Valentine Ozigbo ka na-eme na APC? Enwere ihe ọzọ na APC ọ na-achọ ka ọ gọvanọ ahụ ka ọ ka na-achọ? I want to know.
Now my brother, considering that the man himself, okay, has been going from TV to the next TV, trying to defend the indefensible, okay, but really, I do not think that Val is relevant really in this conversation. The reason being that he is not the candidate of any political party. He claims that he should have been the candidate of the APC. But yeah, he has an opportunity to reclaim his mandate, 67 people in the APC, okay, versus the hundreds, the other person. He can go to court and try to do all that. But the bigger issue is that when you are not firmly rooted, when you're not, I'm trying to be very careful with my choice of words. You can easily be carried. You can move to this place, you can move to that place, because people see you're unlikely to do these kinds of move and swing. But at the end of the day, just not politics and then with politics. People need politics for different reasons. Some people may actually want a better nation, like the obedience movement. Okay, some others may want to fulfill their personal ambition. He made it very clear that he has a personal ambition that differs from what the obedience movement really stands, and he has gone to actualize his personal ambition of leading Anambra people under the APC. And we have seen how I think he has made a fool of himself, really. That is me putting it mildly. I think I do not imagine that there is anything to be had or gained by his move, really, because he is not a hungry man. Okay, so I cannot say that he has bills to pay. Okay, I don't see him that way. So the allegations that maybe he wants to get settled. After all, Munana Ekerego, Uno Ana Enyerego, obedience. You people are always looking for accountability. You bring out 1 naira, 2 naira, you want everybody to account for it. And if some other people actually want money to buy a house in Abuja, like Abur has been alleged to do, okay, if some other people are looking for additional money to lead a certain lifestyle, I think that can be found and had at the APC, and it may not be available on this side of uh, the divide. So that is that on that. But ultimately, I am being told that Soludo would win 21/21. You see again in them, or we can do reason as in Soludo, not on the south, not on the south, not on the south, Kafalo Topo, turn, let them complete their 8 years. Okay, so it would move to Anambra Center. Now,
Onyeka Kanjigodi, just sorry for the interruption. I mean, I agree, not on the South because it's not a problem. But when it came to 2023 election, did the same Soludo not campaign against his brother Obuton? Huh? No, I want to, because at least in the Nigerian politics,
exactly.
it's assumed, it is assumed not on. So the same Soludo asked Peter Obi to go and deputize Atiku or come to Apoga. He did not know that it is the turn of Ndebanye at that time. But the same people are now campaigning about turn now. You see, that is the hypocrisy in a way. This is why I get I didn't come I need to go to Agoka. See,
my brother, onye mụ na na akpakwanụ nkata for I will save the person's name before the obedience Adobe Vam. However, this is someone that is dancing on the heels of Atiku Abubakar. When I say, how can you come to Anambra and you are pushing the southern argument, Soludo, not on, huh? Yes, Soludo, lot of 4 years, go, we move. In this, in fact, in the same conversation, now the same call, you are advocating for His Excellency Atiku Abubakar. How does that work? How does that work? And the thing about people that make these kinds of tiresome, weak, intellectual invalids, really, you will expect them to see the error or see but they won't. They will tell you, if you want to win an election, I say, how does that work? If we want to win, so it's article. I say, yes. And say, how? Assume that Atiku has how many million votes? You say, really? You say, according to who? You see, okay, can we confirm results of the PDP? Because remember, the PDP remains the most organized political party in Nigeria. Okay? So we have ways of collating our results during elections, at least internally. So I asked my friend, should we reference PDP's internal results to know whether Atiku outperformed Obi? He disputed and went back to, is it not INEC that is the official? So you cannot, this is how you play the tennis without net. He move wherever, he move wherever. So how are we supposed to engage people like that, really? But ultimately, I keep on reminding them, in 2022, the jacks of this world came together. They were in different PDP offices, singing and chanting, PDP, give us Obi, PDP, give us Obi. What did the party do? The party, I say no, 4 people in a room, tweeting and making noise. And the party has not recovered up till this moment. Another opportunity is here. The Nigerian people are telling you, you cannot win this election on your own. Young people are saying, we want to be part of this election. We want to be part of this change. We want to be part of this new Nigeria. However, because we have given you people opportunity all this while, we've seen what you have done from 1999 till date. We no longer want you to give us a candidate. We have agreed on a candidate. This is our candidate. This is the message of young people, whether they call themselves obedient or they don't call themselves obedient. But if you take a poll of young people across the nation, north, south, east, and west, and you engage them, they will tell you that their preference for president is Obi. They want him to, even if they will tell you, okay, let him go and try. They trust him, they connect with him. But what are we doing? We are discussing again. Some other clowns are even talking about Malami. Eh? So there is
My
another
brother,
opportunity right
my
now.
brother, I met somebody. I met a very highly placed somebody yesterday, day before yesterday, and he was telling me that he was telling me about the coalition, and he mentioned Malami. I was shocked. He said that yes, that Malami and his group actually came to the coalition, and they said that they want to buy off the leadership of SDP from chairman down to everybody, and they refused. They said no, you can't do that. That nobody will control the party structure. People should come in and But that is a discussion for another day. We can actually talk about that. But I'm just telling you that what is happening in this country, because I asked somebody a very simple question. I say, my brother, let me ask you a very sincere question. Please, you need to answer me. If Atiku was from Southeast and Peter Obi is from the North, will you ask Peter Obi to deputize Atiku? It's a very simple question. Answer me. The guy, he didn't say anything. I said, no, answer me. I just want to know. Can you tell even Kwankwaso that got just 1 million votes to deputize anybody and he will listen to you? Can you even tell? Do you have the guts to tell Kwankwaso to come and deputize PO? But anyway, it's part of the disrespect, that we have to endure. But that's another conversation for another day. Soludo. I just posted on the Jumbotron. My anger is that now they did not show the face of the Igwe as this chieftaincy title. Makana as DK Sinamba. Now this is why Soludo had to dethrone Obi of Onitsha. Because Obi of Onitsha would not have done this. We know that Obi Onitsha would not have done this, and that is why Soludo came and started fighting him and fought him to a standstill and removed him as the chairman of the traditional rulers in Anambra, so that see, Soludo's actions today is enough for the Anambra to massively mobilize and vote that man out of office. And see, on a them that we don't have somebody we can vouch for, we can say this person has character that we can vote for. That's my only anger. That's my only anger.
Exactly, because in a poor weapon Soludo, let us look at the alternatives. Emesikweni in list of ndị na-azọ ifekwanụ Charles bụ I mean kedu I mean ifekwanụ Charles ịghọta so as much as
I don't answer. I don't answer. I
I
don't
know
answer.
that's
I don't answer. Ah,
ịghọta
Chineke.
so
Chineke na-ere anyị
ịfụnanya
ebere.
but nene anya ebe ndị dịka Chief nwa Chinemelụ si na ha ma mpụtara ọzọ and we have to vote for somebody. Okay, so no Soludo.
Onye ka ihe ị na-ekwu na ana m agwa chief the last time money afọ nsị ya chief ihe dịrị ịpụta ka ịzụ election aka edigakwa anya ama m ihe chief na-akọ chief nwa Chinemere, good to have you.
My brothers, Onyeka, Ofuga, you have to take it back. And even Jack, I had a conversation with you last week when I gave home, and I told you my position. I will eventually come out, but not now. I will eventually come out because we have to rescue Anambra State from the hand of the Amalekites. You know, the canker worm, eating deep into the country. So we must. It's something that will eventually happen. But we just hope that by the time, well-meaning the Anambra will start speaking up and getting involved in conversations and, in politics, things won't be too bad. Because the presidents this man Soludo is setting in Anambra State is a dangerous one. Anambra State has never known mediocrity and pettiness as a form of politicking. In the whole of Nigeria, I would dare say Anambra is one of the most difficult states in terms of politics, and we haven't had it this bad. It is quite pathetic. It's sickening. It's a situation where you can't really wrap your mind. While we have, all the Igbo intelligentsias, all the people that are exposed with all the money people claim they have in Anambra, and the banter they share here, Ishi Igbo, Odu Igbo, Onu Igbo, Nazu Igbo, all those kind of things, and this is who is leading these people. It's something that is quite shameful. I had a conversation with somebody last night, regarding this Tinubu's visit to Anambra State, and I said, the truth is that Anambra State is likened to be in that state it was in the mid 2000. When obviously some of us knew what happened then when people were being killed, for being against government, and there were people that were being pointed as the perpetrators of those dastardly acts. But I don't want to go there. So it appears that people are now really scared to talk about things in reality, instead of just want to key into it so that they can, garner favor, from government, or, if you look at Anambra State, and buy now, it's as if everybody now wants to be involved in politics, but not in government, in governance. I don't know if that makes sense. Everything now in Anambra State, is more like, oh, we want to be part of this government. We want to, Soludo Ejebego, Soludo Chilomaga Chiozo. And then when you ask them, what did he really do? What is this man coming to commission, in Anambra? I was just watching Soludo's, speech when he was just talking rubbish. That the last time president was in Anambra State was in 2012 when he came to commission brewery and another private project. And I'm like, is this man being real, or is this just, his pettiness and, just he can't just sleep without thinking about P2B? The way P2B has, the issues of P2B has eaten deep into his brain, is that he finds a way to put it, in every conversation he wants to have, to make these sniding comments about him, and find a way to undermine everything he has done in Anambra State, as if we didn't know who he is. You know, I've argued that Professor Soludo becoming a professor was as a result of his fragile ego. He wanted to be that person that will stand out to talk, because he knows that if he's not a professor, he will probably not have the kind of confidence required to actually challenge people. He has a very bad character, very bad persona that has been, people have testified to it. Someone like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has actually testified the kind of character he has. A very bad character, anyways. He's been part of presidential economic advisors, and while he was even the governor of Central Bank, his personality was such a mess. He had this pathetic and disgusting personality that nobody would actually say something nice about that man. The same thing is happening with Anambra State government now. All his missioners, all his SSAs, all his whatever. I don't know why he even pays them to be around him, because those people don't even advise him. You cannot advise Soludo. You cannot talk to Soludo if you are not a PhD holder. You cannot. He doesn't listen to anybody. So he is jack of all trade and master of none. That's why Anambra State is littered with mediocre, super mockery projects. I wonder what even the government house that they've been, if you watch Anambra news media and all this Omochenkwa Chenkwa he's paying, they've been posting the pictures and the videos of government house as if that is an achievement. Even though he spent so much money building that, it's still a mediocre. That is even the worst, because that government house is supposed to be something he will now be saying, oh, we built a government house after 30 years. We built a fun city. That is why he brought the president, right? And then you see, the poor job. A lot of the roads all on Anambra State now, they're already in bad shapes. They're already in bad shapes. As of just yesterday, they had to contract tankers. The tanker now 1 million. If people know the man, and then these tankers that bring water, that sells water. They had to contract them to go around the streets of Oka and start washing the road. To start washing the road so that it will be clean. The road they've abandoned. The road that is so dirty. The environment is so dirty. So that the president will come and see a clean Oka, and they will start jumping up. You see, I think some race, actually made a very miscalculated, uninformed or ill-informed, political step. That is Valentine Ozigbo. Because for me, I believe even if he doesn't want to meddle with the whole, shenanigans going on in LP, he would have actually gone back to his PDP. That would have been, the most honorable thing to do, because he came from there, really. He came from there to LP. He would have just gone back there, so that we can actually have an option. Because from what is going on right now, there is no difference between APGA and APC in Anambra State. There is no difference. You see, this man, Nicholas Okachuku, that they supposedly, won the primary election. Obviously, he's not going anywhere. Nobody knows him, regardless of his money. He's not even going to garner any vote. I'm sure of that. And it was orchestrated, I can tell you, from APGA camp to make sure that they destabilize APC in Anambra State, because Soludo is lobbying the APC. And I wouldn't be surprised that eventually, if he gets the return ticket, and comes back for second term, I wouldn't be surprised that if he decamps. If he doesn't decamp to APC, I won't be surprised that everything he's doing will be, in consonance with what APC wants him to do. Because, second term, obviously, he doesn't have anything to prove anymore. He doesn't have anything. That's where you will see the whole pettiness. That's where you will see the worst of him. Because there's nothing you can do anymore. So I was wishing that someone like Val Ozibo, if you are here, we were thinking that even if you wanted to leave LP, you would have just gone back to PDP, So that at least we will have, okay, we know that you are a headache to him. You know, you were a headache to him, even in the first election. You actually came second, even though it was one of the lowest turnout of elections in Anambra State. With Soludo came there with about 120,000 votes. It has never happened, but that's what happened. So you came second. So what it means is that you are still important in the ballot. But then making such a sided political step actually undermines all the effort. You know, you kind of rubbish the whole support people have been giving you over time, because now the only thing you are best at doing right now is to go to Arise or maybe Channels Television and cry how you want to change APC from inside out. How does that work? How does it work? How do you think you can change, you know, a system that was set up to make sure you fail? And then you say no, you want to go in there and change it from inside out. So I believe that what we have in Anambra State right now is just a state of where, you know, there is really nothing much you can do other than to hope that, you see, okay, what's come to us? He has extra 4 years to stay. If Soludo wins, you know, the second time, he has extra 4 years. And then after that, we can go into a new era. You know, maybe more people will now come out, you know, and you know, be involved in Anambra politics, because as we speak right now, everybody you talk to, I don't know what Soludo, you know, what maybe they had an agreement or a pact with other people to say, okay, you have to support us. Because I know even some people that are a staunch APC supporter, they are telling me that they want Soludo to complete his tenure. That even Nicholas Okachukwu is not going anywhere. So what it means is that there is something going on. Or maybe they've had an agreement, you know, with APC that, okay, all APC, if you watch the way they defend Soludo, you'll be wondering, is APGA and APC the same party? Because they are not. Are not.
Nah, the thing will
You
be
know, they are not
Kezioko.
the same party. They don't even have the same ideology. Nothing. Not there's nothing
Oh,
about
but
APGA
but
and
hold on,
APC
hold
that
on,
is similar.
my brother, yeah,
Mhm.
can you negotiate and see how we can tie it in? There is no Anambra politician from the central that
That
all
is what
central
you are.
politicians.
You are breaking. I didn't hear
I
what you
said
said.
that,
There's no Anambra person. I did
yeah,
what?
I said that there is no Anambra politician from the
Hmm.
Anambra Central, that would not support Soludo in November, because Soludo completes around 8 years. It would move to Anambra Central. So if former Manke as a no governor in waiting,
Who?
okay,
Who?
Ike Obosi,
Okonyo Bosi.
as in Ike
One now.
Obosi, Ike Obosi bu governor in waiting. You know, so
Ah, Udoka.
Anyway, Chief, Onyeka,
no,
Chief, Odika,
yeah,
I will, Onyeka, I
just
will,
yeah.
I,
Let me just lay out
I,
this one point. Now,
okay.
if it will happen that way, it makes sense that they will support Soludo. Okay, why do people now imagine that in a presidential election, if Atiku is the candidate, that any politician from the north, that it is supposed to be their turn after the southern turn will support Atiku? How do you think that will work? It's not going to work
My,
for ndị niile a na-ekwu okwu Atiku 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 Atiku. The politicians, it will be their turn after the south. In the north will not support Atiku because Atiku will usurp their turn. Anyway, yeah.
Onyeka, so I will Onyeka Chieva, and I believe Onyeka Chibu APC member. So maybe he should tell us why the Apuga have endorsed them today. I believe he has an answer for us.
No,
Onyeka, welcome.
yeah,
Onyeka.
welcome, Josh, Mr. Jack. I'm not an APC member. I'm a carrying member of APGA.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, my brother.
More bro, APC because
Na ke kunisi we endorse Bola today, Biko. Ke ifo me mekari.
I'm coming to that. Okay, let me even address that. You see, the governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, have said that it has always been a tradition for APGA to endorse presidential candidates that are in power. That happened in 2011 2011 when they endorsed Goodluck Jonathan. It happened in 2015 when they also endorsed Goodluck Jonathan. It happened in 2019 when Willie Obiano endorsed Buhari. And it happened, okay, it didn't, okay, as only in 2023 that there was no official declaration. Because if you watch, even in 2015, for example, you will see where they circulated posters in Oka and across Anambra State, especially in Oka. They say our voting formula, vote ABGA in other elections, whereas in presidential election, vote PDP, which is Goodluck Jonathan. Now, it now depends on the people to now vote who they want. For example, despite the endorsement of what is it called, Buhari by Willie Obiano in 2019, Buhari did not even score 25% in Anambra State. Even though the party, APGA, did not, we had a presidential candidate, Dr. Umade, in 2023, and despite Soludo not actually endorsing the popular candidate in the South, is being Peter Obi. Peter Obi got over 90% of the vote in Anambra State. So it's now incumbent on the people to decide. The party can decide on their level.
Onyekachi, let me ask you very quickly. So why is the endorsement coming in when the man has not spent 2 years in office? That is my question, because I need to understand the rationale. Or are you saying that you people in Apuga follow Homa, so this man like, because if you're saying tradition, no campaign now, the man potassium no actually is up for re-election, because nobody even knows if Bola will come out and say he wants to be re-elected. So on what basis is he being endorsed at this point when he has not spent 2 years in office? Is that
No.
an insult?
Jack, you are putting the cat ahead of the horse. You understand? The issue is that, did you hear election in Soludo's mouth? Did you hear election? What he says is that we are going to align. We are going to work with the federal government. We are going to work. You see, the name APGA and that of APC align. And probably there are some policy overlap between APGA and APC. Now,
onye banyị kedu ife ọ dị ka Soludo a na-ekwu maka ya mgbe anwa ọ na-ekwu let us align. Onye banyị kedu ife ọ dị ka ọ na-ekwu maka ya? Ọ na-ekwu maka election ka ọ na-ekwu maka ụka nne ka ọ na-ekwu maka August meeting, ọ na-ekwu maka ụka nna, kedu ife ọ na-ekwu maka ya?
That is what I want to explain to you now. Now, the APGA is All Progressive Grand Alliance. According to Soludo, APGA was formed in 2002, and that is true. And APC is All Progressive Congress. So you see the name somehow overlap. Now, there might be policy overlap, but APGA will not take responsibility for the performance of Tinubu in government. Now, let me tell you one thing, Jack, because everybody is coming here to come and claim holier than thou. Have you questioned the governor of Abia? Meanwhile, Jack, if you remember, because we in Abga we are multi-partisan. We when we see what people do, we endorse it. We in Abga, you see, even your governor Alex Oti was there. We supported Alex Oti when he was contesting for governor. If you remember, Soludo was among the people that backed Alex Oti as the governor of Abia State. Now, even Alex Oti was interviewed by Arise TV. Can you criticize? Can you tell us if Tinubu has done well? Alex Oti could not say so. I haven't seen you coming to interrogate him. I haven't seen you come to interrogate him. That is even by the way. Now, Nwachine Melo said that Soludo got PhD because so that he can be able to speak. That is very ridiculous. Soludo got PhD from University of Nigeria and Nsukka, and he was the best graduating student in all 3 levels during his academic pursuit. So it is really laughable. He has held consultancy position in IMF, International Monetary Fund, in World Bank, lectured in Oxford University, Cambridge University, several American top-tier universities, one best among the world. And you are saying that it is just maybe just
my brother,
because
come
it is
to
really
really go
laughable.
for
If you
Ajuju.
hate somebody, wait,
Yeah,
Onyeka, let me say this
yeah.
in 5
Only,
seconds.
no, just to
In 5
one
seconds, is it
question.
not laughable
Okay.
that Martin Emelo is saying that Soludo got PhD? Because you see, in Anambra State, let me tell you one thing in Anambra. I don't know, some of all these people that say these things are not even, they are not even anywhere near Anambra State. In Anambra State, we value enterprise, intelligent, brilliance. Anambra State people are naturally intelligent people. So I take exception to the fact that somebody that got professor based on his dint of hard work, and Soludo is not even from a rich family, he's from a
You've
poor
made
family.
the
For you
point.
to come and say this
Jigodi
thing,
Ajuju,
it's really laughable.
only by Chelo now. Chelo,
Okay, no problem. Okay, no
all
problem.
my
Sorry.
first degree, masters, na PhD. Keba
Okay.
kuzilie pettiness na common. On a master's, on a PhD, on America. Keba kuzi. Makanona kono. It is a statement of fact, and people would acknowledge this thing. Yeah.
Sorry, before he answers the question, Onyekachi, what I said was it appears. My statement is very straightforward, and it seems you don't listen to some statements. You don't listen to people when they speak. You listen to respond, because I said it appears. It appears. It's very important that I use such words, but you are making an emphatic statement that I said. No. So when people speak, you have to listen so that when you are responding or you want to counter them, you counter accurately. Because what you are doing now, if the person was not here when I was speaking, the person would just believe that what you're saying was what I said. But that was not what I said. That was
Anyway,
not what I saw. You see now, correcting you now has actually made you to realize that you're actually saying something that is not right.
so
Okay.
And that is the problem I have. Hold on.
Okay,
And that is the
I
problem
admit
I
that you
have
say
with.
it appears. I admit that you said it appears.
Okay, that's
But let
fine.
me
For the
say it
fact that you have
emphatically.
admitted, hold on. I also want you to nullify everything you have said, because for
That's
you
what I wanted to
admitting,
now.
hold on, because for what it means is that what it implies is that for you to admit that I said that it appears, what it means also is that everything you said in defense has been nullified. True.
Okay.
If that is the case, hold on, I'm coming.
Wait.
Let me
Martin
position you
Emelo.
well, because I know
In a
you are
use
supposed to
logic.
hold on now, my brother.
Chief, let's not make
Hold on.
Chief, hold on, Chief, hold on. I don't
No.
want.
Jack, it's okay. It's
No,
okay.
no,
I
no,
mean,
no, 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 no. So, Chief, I want us to move as quick as possible, right? And the reason is because actually, those projects that the president came to, because I'm happy that he said he's a card carrying member of APGA, right? And that is basically why, that's why I'm happy that he's here. So he can point out to us those projects that the governor has done, that the president came to commission. Very quickly, only if you can rush it, maybe like 2 minutes, because. Thank you.
you can go and listen to what Soludo have said. I'm not here to regurgitate what he has
No,
already
but
said.
when it's your government now, you're a card carrying member of APGA, you're a proud one. So you should be able to tell us what the governor is commissioning today. Because to the best of my ability, to the best of my knowledge, is the playground in Oka and the government house. Apart from that, I can't recall any other thing that he has done that the president left
Now,
Abuja to come and commission.
Jack. Yeah, you didn't listen. You didn't listen carefully to Soludo, because just like Timachin Emelo said, that I listened to criticize or I listened to respond. It seems you are just listening to Soludo. See, he used those projects you mentioned now as point of contact to some other projects that he has commissioned.
So which
He mentioned
are those projects? Mention the
Onyeka,
projects.
name it
there
now.
are
Onyeka,
roads
name them now.
littered around Anambra State, which he has already done across just 3 years that he has already been the governor of Anambra State. There are roads littered across Anambra State. But let me tell you, Jack, inside my own kindred, I'm telling you, in front of my own house, Soludo is building road in the inner rural areas in Anambra State.
I'm aware.
That's the
I'm aware of that.
responsibility of a local government. What is your local government doing?
Ekusigo local government.
No, Uche, let's even leave that. Onyeka, because the last time he got fellow, the Okporo si ama obia wee gaba oga. The last time he gbara the road.
January.
Okay, January. That means it's been a long time now. As I speak to you, are you aware that the road that GELD is constructing now, most of them has failed in that the whole of Agolo axis? Are you aware that the new
See,
road that the governor is building? Are you aware that they are already
So
failing?
no, Jack, you didn't get it right. The new road is commissioning today. To put it right,
No,
the
no,
new road.
no. He can't
government
even
is a
commission it.
commissioning.
He can't commission it because the road are alobe half now. I can allow the road. Even the
No,
Agolo
they will
section sef.
commission the part that has been done. That is what he's doing. He
Oh,
will
okay.
commission the part that has been done.
Okay,
Then
Jack, can I use just 1 minute and then let me
Go
not hug
ahead.
them. Let me just
Go
use
ahead.
1 minute to say this thing. I heard when you guys are calling people like Valentine Ozigbo, and the likes of Unna Valentine Ozigbo, na nkenwa no jigwa. Let me tell you, no matter party or na Valentine or any other person na Anambra State, Soludo is going to take 21/21. All the critical stakeholders in Anambra State across
Yeah, but no
all
result.
all spheres of life.
Yeah, but no
I
result.
mean, you can you 1 minute. I could 1 minute.
Keke gesi we man Amadi get win 21/21 when the person is clearly building roads that are failing. You see, not get win 21/21. That means no they go no result or to hope also them must wear the Imo State. Is that what you want to say?
Let me tell you, Imana Jack, ndị bias na anụ a na-egbukwa na-egbu ọ ga-agbakwana nnekere. Ọkwana nnekere ka opposition na-agba na Anambra. Let me tell you, 21/21.
Opposition on where party on when no party
Wait,
now support na Anambra, so both opposition can name.
Jack, please, let's not turn this into Apuga conversation they usually have on Facebook. This is not Apuga conversation. This is Anambra State conversation. Whenever you guys want to talk about how to win, I don't care if you guys win 21/21 or 100/100. That's your business. What we are talking about is the governance, the business of governance that is going on in Anambra State. We are looking at the records. We are looking at the pettiness. We are looking at what he's doing. That's what we are talking about. And for me, I find everything's very embarrassing. Listening to Soludo is very uninspiring. Someone asked a very important question. He learned, he's a PhD holder, he's a professor, he's this and that. And where did he learn how to be petty? And where did he learn how to econ? And I have a question, I have an answer to that. Akwe for econ, na being petty, is a very serious problem in Anambra, not just Soludo. All of them are guilty of this. If you pay attention to political gladiators in Anambra State, they have A1 and A-Corn. Farmer case are corn, Neyman Jackly, or whatever you may call it. But Soludo is on the hot seat. He is the one governing us now. So he is the one that we are going to be. In fact, the only governor or the only political person that I know that does not have that skill, maybe Obiano. Obiano Bonye all the skill. But okay, for the rest, including Peter, they are very good at doing this. But today we are talking about Soludo, right? We are talking about Soludo, what he has done and what he's doing. In your honest mind, just do you really think that what he has done deserves him? He deserves to get second turn, or because we do not have the very credible, viable opposition? Because let's get it straight. Oyenaba first in a class all the time could probably be the fact that he doesn't have a very strong opponent. If you have a very strong opponent, you may not be able to carry first all the time. So let's say that Soludo will win the next election. Fine, I don't really give a damn about that. But the point is that is this because we have to be careful as in Anambra. We have to be careful with the precedents. Like I was speaking today on Afia TV, and I said, for ordinary citizens, for ordinary Anambra, who enjoy the good roads, who ply the roads that he's building, to go to their various work and activities, they may say that Soludo is doing incredibly well. Fine. I do not hold any, bad energy for them. They can say that. They reserve the right to say it because that's what they understand. But some people who are thinking about building Anambra State, who are thinking beyond the road, who are thinking beyond, those shiny projects that he's doing in the Fun City. Anytime I hear them talk about, I can cringe because this is not a government. This is not supposed to be a government
But
project.
but
This is
but
supposed to
it
be
is
a
not even a
private
government project.
project.
It's a private investment. It's
So
actually
so
private funding that is doing that thing. That's my anger.
so when I hear them talk, anytime I go to their office, some of their office to talk about any idea, whatever, you will hear them mention this. I'll just hiss, But the point I'm making is that comparing what Peter commissioned when he brought Jonathan to Anambra State with what he commissioned today, because the Onya Bukitolokuyama, without him saying it, I wouldn't have gone back to check what Peter commissioned. Look at the list. If you check my post on Jumbotron, you will see the list of businesses that were established. And these businesses are bringing in a lot of things to Anambra. They are making so much money. They are creating jobs. They are generating revenue from Anambra. Now, what has Soludo mentioned? A single business Soludo has attracted in Anambra State since he became a governor. Mention one particular project Soludo has done towards enhancing the existing places where these businesses are operating. Let me tell you, Soludo is interested in projects that glorifies him. That self-glorification, solution, K1 solution city, solution center, he just likes that. If that project does not center on him, he's not interested. If you go to the Harbour Industrial Layout and all those places where we have these industries, you ask yourself, what exactly is going on? Their inner roads, a lot of things are bad. And these people have challenges that you have not even attended to. Our governor has not sat with these people since he has not sat. This is information that I know. He has not sat with the manufacturers who are in Anambra State to ask them what is their problem. But he will go to Abuja, he will go to Lagos and be talking to people. Whereas people who are here, you don't care about what they feel and how they feel. You want to cite a new industrial layout in Oboji and other places. What about the existing ones? I'm not saying that these ones are not good, but the point is that if you have information on how his mode of operation, you understand that he's not interested in fixing anything. He's interested in his self-glorification. That's my problem, because every single thing he is commissioning today has Professor Charles Soludo centered on it. Look at versus Peter Obi when he was commissioning. He put private businesses. He brought You know how Peter Obi carried Innocent on his head, brought Jonathan and made sure that Jonathan signed that automobile deal, bill. Look at other businesses that we established, that he made sure that Jonathan puts some level of hands in the operation. So you compare that with what Soludo is doing today. Compare that. You will see that there is clear difference. And that's what we are talking about. You cannot use that you built a government house, the first government house to ever be established in the state for 30 years. You keep saying these things and bamboozling the people that you believe that cannot think for themselves. These are the people you can deceive with those nonsense. You can't say that to people who are telling. They will ask you, this thing you're building, is that what the people need? All these people that are praising you, how are they going to benefit from that government house? The businesses that are closing, that are having issues at Umunya, at Ogidi, at Onit, what have you done as a governor? I was speaking to someone, I'm not going to mention them, who has information about all the businesses that are closing in Anambra State. He has information, he has the data. And he said that, when I was asking him, what are the governor doing? Like, what is the government doing to ensure that there is a revitalization or, maybe handing over of some of these companies to new investors? We don't have a single flour mill in Anambra State. And Anambra has the highest number of bakery in the whole of the South, maybe outside Lagos. We have all these things, but we don't have a single mill. The one we use has closed down. There is nothing from government to find out What is happening? Why is it no longer functioning? That type of thing. These are the things that I'm looking at. Because when you speak to the people who are on ground, who are doing the real business, they are going to tell you their challenge. You will now ask them, what have they been able to do? They will tell you this is what they've done. And it's clearly that nobody is taking responsibility from the government. That's when I come and say these things, and people start telling me that he's building road that leads to my village, he's building road that leads to my house, he's building road. These things are not what people are talking about. That is what I am saying. Anytime I'm engaging these people and tell them, look, you guys can continue to talk about what he's building. He can continue to build heaven and earth. Look at the Ekulobia flyover. And when people talk about this flyover, I remember the flyovers that are littered in Ebonyi State. You can't even compare. If you go to Amasri, if you go to different places in Abakaliki, you will see better, bigger flyovers. Even in Kalago has double-lane flyover. What are you saying? And you have one single lane flyover in a club. Just one in the entire Anambra state. Jack, I will stop here.
Uche, I just remember that a few days ago, the both of us were having conversation around. We're arguing about the gas pipeline that was commissioned for years, that was supposed to be built from somewhere from Edo State down to Anambra, that was supposed to power businesses. Uche, as I speak to you, yesterday the governor of Ogun State signed a contract with a Chinese firm to build 400 million steel plant in somewhere in Ogun State. And we have talked every single day. We have complained about the importance of gas in Southeast. And we have existing contracts. Soludo Soludo was the first governor that commissioned somebody, his friend, to do, they said they signed an MOU to give us 24-hour electricity in Anambra. Up until today, we have not heard any reports from that particular MOU that was signed. Over 2 years ago, we have not heard anything. We have not heard anything about gas pipeline. Soludo brought a president to our state and he could not make demand that favors the people of Anambra. The things that Anambra people genuinely need, Soludo could not make a demand. Since I was born, over 30 years ago, every single day, they are still building Enugu-Onitsha Express. Just about 100-kilometer road every single year since I was born. I even had accident on that road in 2009. Up until today, those portion of that road is still bad up until today. Our governor did not see any reasonable demand to make on presidency. The only thing he was going to tell the president to give him a red cap as chieftaincy title and tell him that Apga will vote for him. That I am thoroughly embarrassed. I feel so embarrassed that Soludo is my governor. I don't know how to say it, but for somebody like me that lives in Abuja, for somebody like me that is well-traveled in the Nigerian context and I've seen infrastructure, even in the Nigerian context, for somebody like me that knows how Owerri looks like, for somebody that knows how Abakaliki looks like, for somebody that knows what Peter Mba is building currently in Enugu, you come back to Anambra and our governor is telling you that he has built 500 kilometers of road, that half of them has failed. That half of them has failed in less than 2 years that he built them. Those roads are already failing. Even the one he's still constructing, they are still failing. And that is the same person that have the F100 to tell us that he's commissioning government house. And the question is just like you asked, what is the government house going to add to the? Can somebody show me the picture of Lagos State Government House? I want to see how Lagos State Government House is looking like. With all the money Lagos State is generating as a state, how is their government house looking? Everybody in the south want to build a palatable, they want to build, befitting government houses. They want to build mansion. They want to make it look, this thing. But let us see those states that are currently working. Let's see their government house and how they are looking like. Abiane is usually now in the southeast, every other time you will see our people holding brief for, all this mediocre that you have. I challenged the Commissioner of Information today, Dr. Law Mefo, and I told him, You people are you brought Channels TV, you brought Arise TV, you brought AIT, you brought all the ABS, all of them. They are going to stream, the visit today live. But the only news media house in Southeast on DSTV and GoTV, they were not contracted to stream the same thing. What kind of presidents are you people, what exactly are you people trying to tell us as in the Anambra, as in the Igbo Aibo? No self-worth, no demure, no elegance in the things you do, no excellence at all associated with Soludo's government. Again, I am highly disappointed because again, when Obiano was doing the things he was doing, I didn't really think I was this disappointed because I felt like, well, we really didn't know him. But Soludo, you are a professor for goodness sake. You should be. Anambra used to be the light of the nation. We used to carry, there's a way we used to carry ourselves. That is why we are calling ourselves Igbo. But right now, okay, any state now leave behind in the whole of Southeast. You look at Abia, see what Abia, the way Abia is rising on daily basis. How many, with all the connections Governor Soludo has, how many foreign direct investment has he brought into the state? You think investors are stupid? You think they are not looking at the way you are associated with, Agboro is still handling the Anambra collection of revenue up until today. In other states, it has changed. Even in Abia, the scan code, they use technology to collect their revenue and everything. Every single thing in Anambra, backward. We are going back from even the time of Peter Obi, how many years ago? We have gone way below in the past. What we are now celebrating is employing teachers. If we employ 5 teachers, look at the schools this man is renovating and calling it smart school. Are we not ashamed of ourselves in this state? Because I'm really pained. I wish there's any other way. I wish there is something we can do differently because I feel like Soludo thoroughly does not deserve anybody, any single Anambarian that is patriotic to say we are voting you back to continue, as our governor. Honestly, this is how I feel. And I feel so bad about the whole situation. But anyway, let's get the thoughts of other people anyway. Emmanuel, you're here?
Because, sorry, I have a question. Anybody who you should maybe answer. Chukwuma Soludo promised that within 12 months, okay, that we will have Onisha water scheme, Onisha and Utosha water scheme. And the Bayorian, have we forgotten? I say no, within 12 months. And I think this promise, when was that? During the campaigns and
Onyegogi Dubai Taiwan no promise again. At least Yanyagodi Nani
no,
Owerri
ọ
self.
sị na ya
We don't even
mba
need
ọ sị
Dubai
na ya
Taiwan.
mara akwụkwọ ọ sị
Dubai,
na ya mara
Dubai
akwụkwọ
Taiwan.
ọ sị
Dubai
na ya mara
Taiwan is a
akwụkwọ
metaphor. No. Dubai
Dubai
Taiwan
Taiwan
is a
kwere.
metaphorical statement. He said is a metaphorical statement. So, for you taking it as a literal statement, it means that Nayamara, according to what he said. So that's to tell you something. Soludo surrounded himself with a lot of primitive, unexposed, unintelligent people that can't really, criticize anything. That's he has all these yes people around him. He has never been able to, get one person that will tell him and say, "Sir, this is a wonderful idea, but I think the execution."
Chief, watching Emery, to be fair to some of the people that I know surrounding him,
Mm.
they are actually very exposed. But some of them, because Soludo is not receptive to criticism. In fact, you remember what happened when the deputy governor tried to intervene as a result of the roadblocks around Anambra State. It was caught on camera where he was telling the military to dismantle and allow people to move freely. And Soludo made very serious pronouncement immediately. In fact, he made sure that he relegated. I'm surprised that he picked him as his deputy in this take-on tenure. He silenced the young man. And ever since, I don't think the man has anything that I can point that he has been involved in. And so when you also look at even some of the kitchen cabinets of Soludo, they are also like that. Some of them are very exposed. Remember somebody who was once a leader in UK, is working in his government. I was super excited when he was named. I've forgotten his name now. And you can't say that person is not exposed. He's exposed. He has been to the first world and he understands governance, having led in UK. So being in Soludo's government and not being able to point out this thing is also a very huge sign that Soludo is not receptive to ideas, especially from anybody that is not a professor or a degree holder like him.
Okay, let me make some things clear, Uche. What I mean by that is this. Living abroad, whether you live in the US or you live in UK or Canada, Australia, wherever you live, does not necessarily mean that you are involved in the system. A lot of us that live abroad will tell you this. Some people just, from their house to their work, they come back. They don't even understand their own city. If you ask them what is going on, how is the politics of your city, they don't even know. They don't know their mayor, even the governor. Some people don't know. So they don't even understand how things work, right? So that someone has lived abroad, for so many years does not necessarily mean that the person is exposed to governance, good governance, actually, right? So, and also, regardless of whatever you say, the output, the outcome of anything you do reflects the kind of people behind the scene, right? So, if this is the kind of project that that is the best they can ever give on the
I
Anambra,
agree with you
and
on that, 100%.
yeah, if this is the kind of thing they can give in the Anambra, and these same people you are saying that they are exposed are still working for him, then he questions the integrity of those people. He questions, that exposure we are talking about, because we can't claim we have people that are exposed, people that are learned, people that are not timid, because you can actually be abroad and still be timid. A lot of our people have low self-esteem. A lot of our people cannot even express themselves where they're supposed to. So it questions everything. That's why you will see somebody like Professor Mefo, that is a commissioner for information, talking about some things, quoting my tweet and saying, when I mentioned that it appears that all these awards and accolades Soludo is receiving are from people from his payroll. He just highlighted and said, "Oh, what about the one from I think is which I think is UNICEF also, that gave him one." I just ignored him, because what about the rest that he's been getting, the local stations, the dailies that are recognizing him? How come he didn't mention that? Because we understand these things. All he's doing is the man has been fighting himself for P2B. Is that because P2B doesn't care about him? To be very honest, he wishes him well and moves on with his life. But every day, every time he opens his mouth to make any statement, it seems like he's in competition. He has, highlighted a lot of things, and I love the way P2B said. He said he's a trader. That he's a revered senior brother. He's a professor. He did his own as a trader. Let him do his own as a professor. So, is this what a professor can do for Anambra? Or if I can professor Yemelai? Because
Chief,
this is shameful.
Chief,
We are
can
not
I be heard?
seeing, how this is insulting. Look at what is going on in Enugu, just a neighbor. From Oka to Enugu city is about 40 minutes drive. It's about 40 minutes drive. The moment you enter Enugu, you will notice the difference.
Chief, all the capital Mbakuba go because just me to go to
No,
command
I'm not.
select.
I mean, I'm criticizing him because obviously, Pitamba, we'll talk about him. We'll talk about Pitamba the day we talk about him, because I'm not even interested in all those
Mana
local politics. But
biko
let's face what we are talking
ndị
today.
be anyị
Chief,
yeah, there
let's
were
bring
certain
Emmanuel.
promises Soludo made.
Yeah, Emmanuel coming now.
There were
Yeah.
certain promises he made before the elections, and it is important that we highlight the unkept ones as we move towards elections in November. Okay. Again, Soludo promised us transparency. He talked about during the elections, he was giving us granular data and information. He was breaking it down. All of a sudden, he is now governor. Granular data, it disappear, and then yes, header. If you look at the 2024 report of Anambra State, okay, in the He made claims 78% increase in IGR. Ekwemekwe, anyị ajụrụ ajụ. But where is the granular data? The granular data are there. Now, this is somebody that is a professor, okay? Professor of developmental research. Okay, on a corner, what's you know him the best. Nobody is more intelligent than him. Yet, if you go to Anambra State Government website, okay, if you go to Anambra State Government website, you would not find any granular data. All these projects that has been awarded, blah blah blah, you would not find details. All the things are assigned, and he promised transparency. He said that every dime, every 1 naira of Anambra people's money, that he will ask himself if it were his personal money, will he spend it this way? And he keeps on saying it. Imagine that you can follow what they say, and he's a talkative, even if he is extremely petty at that. So transparency eludes, Ophelia Fenisi. So let us highlight that the government, because there are people that would come to defend the government, okay, and they will be making general claims. We are asking for specific granular data.
All right, thank you, Onyeka. Emmanuel, Emmanuel, go ahead, please. 5 minutes, because let's make it straight to the point.
That's a wild door. Now, quick one. The conversation is about governance, and when I hear Nigerians rate their leaders, I laugh because most times what we are asking for is not even something you're supposed to ask for, because there are criteria for gauging how a government is performing. You can bring out sectors, maybe you say housing, electricity, security, education. Our people don't even pay attention. What has Soludo done in the 6 areas or the 7 areas of human endeavor? What impact has it done? Now, some of his failures are because of his hot-headedness, like Okache, everybody, man. They don't take advice, not just him, all our governors. And they are small-minded. Ihan Agbarubu, re-election. Then after re-election, now is how they are going to fill their pockets. It is their playbook. First term, will do small magic and work their way to get re-elected. That is the primary focus of any first-term governor or president in Nigeria. Then once you get re-elected, you work your way on, lining your pockets. So every other function of government, that is why we don't have institutions. Because there are some of the things we are asking for that if the State Road Maintenance Agency was working, our road will not be bad. If the State Rural Electricity Commission was working, we will have electricity in our rural communities. Even in Kedina town, the bills are so high. If our institutions were working, but because of not just Soludo or the leaders, because the leaders is a reflection of the populace. Even if you give a barrow pusher on a Chamin market, the governorship today, in 6 months he will be another Soludo. It is us as a people. That is why reorientation is very important. Until we decide as a people that this is this behavior, this is buying a government house, this a guy, one person will be stealing it. Civil servants will be helping him sign this money. In short, someone is calling me. There are clever ways. Civil servants will be giving you clever ways of how to move government money. Soludo alone cannot take. In short, Soludo does not sign any government account. They are public servants, civil servants, our uncles, our aunties, our parents, our brothers and sisters that are signing this money, moving cash for him, doing clever. I'm not accusing him directly. I'm just saying it is our people in there in on our communities, our leaders, that our brothers that are signing and using clever ways to move this money around for them. So until we as individuals understand living life collectively, we are not going anywhere as a people. Whether Enugu, Ebonyi, even I live in Ebonyi, and yes, the former governor did what he did. I won't go into the details, but the present government, in short, is another story. We are regretting why we supported and voted for him. So it is going to be a perpetual story until the people agree that this is what we want. Until our uncles and aunties refuse to sign monies that are for elephant projects that are moved to Dubai, to the UK to buy properties. Until these things are done, we'll keep talking and whining, and at the end of the day, everybody has always seen Omuya, which is the primary problem, which is what brought us into, because everybody now has isi Omuya. If in a government house, it shows ego in Kegua. You will now forget that ega hinewe bu ega kariji wrong your mother would have gone to where cancer or when she falls sick. But you loot the money now. Nigeria cost school fees in UK. Then in the future, your one will now fall sick. That hospital you didn't build 15 years ago, you now you will not find it for your child or yourself to even go to a good hospital. So it is us. It's not just I'm not holding brief for Soludo, but all I'm saying is one man cannot come into a state and steal money. He has help, he has hands. Cannot come into a state and be mediocre and wants to go for re-election. If we as a people have value, or whatever Haji as well, in short, they will be forced to straighten up. But because we accept this maybe from our families, from the church, from different areas of the society, meet no money, different things, we are all preferring our pockets. It is an indictment of our character as Nigerians, as Ndi Igbo. Because even if other parts of the country, Ndi Igbo, you know that in the past, there are places in Jos, places in Castina that had very good roads, and our people in the east had terrible roads. All the Northfura and Waka, the devil mice of this world, the rules or the Elechis. There were places in Ebonyi that communities that bridges blocked and you can't get to the next community. You get? And these people had governors, they had member House of Assembly. Hello, am I still being heard?
Yes, please wrap up. I mean, round up your
Okay.
thoughts, my brother, so that we
Yeah,
can move.
so
Yeah.
the long and short of it is until because some of us are in the position of influence, until we decide to accept that obele nke iwe is enough, because it is when each or in on obele position as a level 15 civil servant ruo duplex na be nna gị ka ị eje zuo ego amapụta for ụlọ ọgwụ, zuo ego amapụta for hospital equipment.
Emmanuel, you can never. Okay.
So that is it. Until we agree that these things are not normal and we are going to desist from them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my brother. God bless you for your contribution. I just remembered that just like Uche posted on the Jumbo Show, I looked at the factories that will be attracted into Anambra at the time he was governor and how he has supported them. I don't know how much of support, apart from Governor Soludo driving innocent SUV, I don't know how much of support he has been to that factory. My biggest challenge is actually the mediocrity around his governance, his government. They told us that they are going to start building Governor Soludo is building Anambra pharmaceutical hub. For the past 3 years since he became a governor, he has not even, if you see the picture of how the place it looks like right now, you will laugh. Peter Mba just started constructing what's it called, automotive market somewhere around the Enugu Onitsha Express. And as I speak to you, I have a friend that has 50 shops there already. People are buying up everywhere. You think people don't look at governor and know who is serious and who is not serious? The people that brought power project in Anambra, Century Power left Anambra, and now they are building 10 megawatts. They've built 4 megawatts in 9th Mile. They are building 10 megawatts in Enugu already. Before you know, before the end of the year, they will drop that one. That one will be ready. Peter Mba was the first governor that decentralized electricity market in the whole of Nigeria. But Governor Soludo was the first that told us we are going to have 2-4 electricity. But up until today, we have not even seen reports Not to talk of, we've not even seen reports. Not to talk of even say, oh, we have attracted somebody to build 5 megawatts, another person to build solar or this or that. Everything is on paper. Common to even bring free trade zone, they are still looking for license up until today. You think people are not, you think even people, government agencies are not seeing people that are serious? You look at the way Anambra has the best and the most sophisticated, event hall you will find anywhere. Up until today, where Obiano left the construction is where is still up until today. Governor Soludo had not deemed it necessary to complete Oka International Conference Center. He is the only one that used that place to host events because people outsiders cannot even afford it. The cost of the hall alone is about 6.5 million. Their sound and power is about 3.5 million. Who will pay you how many million? Almost 10 million to be able to use that place just for one day. Who will pay you? So what you have is a system where government is not de-risking anything. There is no serious investors coming in because they just know that this person is an anyhow person. So mediocre, likes the God. Let me not say what I have in mind because honestly, like maybe tomorrow they will come and arrest me. But anyways, let's have I am Paul. I am Paul, please. You have 5 minutes. Let's get your thoughts. I am Paul. Are you here? Okay, if you're not here, let's have you, Max. Max, are you there?
Okay, okay, Jack. Yeah, I am here, Jack. Actually, it was after the former speaker that made me feel um, that I need to speak. And also, apart from the fact that Uche also said something that gave me a kind of sensitization that gingered me to want to add something. You see, this our professor Soludo, if on a member of cosmetics, let's be sincere. Uh, because Anokwankadu now, Jack, about International Conference Center. Let's look at it technically and let's look at it as a developmental project that actually that will give your people sense of belonging in times of either job creation or in terms of supporting education or health or road construction. Yes, I'll give him that of road. I mean, what is actually the benefit of International Conference Center? If you're actually a businessman that has something like 1 billion naira, for instance, and in the next 30 years, you want to make sure that your money did not remain 1 billion, but maybe move to somewhere around, 5 to 10 billion. Are you going to go for International Conference Center? Or is it because it's government money that everybody is now going for what look like a woman that, for instance, forgive me that I'm using the word a woman, that look like pancake. And when you wash it off at night, the thing is so ugly. People are hungry looking
Okay,
for employment.
okay, Max. Max, let me come in a little bit because sometimes let's bring this into context. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. However, I think differently about the conference center, and I'll tell you why. So, what the conference center was supposed to do is for you to have a befitting, location to host events and all of that. And for me, that is very good for tourism, right? If the government had actually made that place accessible and then it is in a proper shape and it's affordable, what that means is that what that does is that all these mega conferences that are happening, you can attract maybe a tech conference that will bring the whole Africans into Oka, for example. What that adds a lot to your economy. It brings a lot more flights coming into your state. It brings more hotels will spring up because they will have to accommodate people that are coming into your state. Your boat drivers and transportation will make more money because people are coming in. People that are selling things will sell more because people are coming in. So for tourism, it is perfect. You understand? If you go to in the whole of Africa right now, Kigali is seen as conference city because almost everybody wants to host their event in Kigali because of the conference center they have there. So I am not saying that conference center is not good. What we are saying is that our government has not even operationalized the one we spent a lot of billions building. 2 years ago, I went to that conference center because I wanted to use it to host Ali Igbo Youth Forum. And that place is not completed. Up until today, it is not completed. But apart from even the completion, the contractors say that they are still being owed. Chinese are the ones managing the place as I speak to you, because the government has not even finished paying them for the ones that they have done. And we have people gallivanting up and down everywhere, telling us that they built, playground, that they did this, the first of his kind, this and that and that and that. Everything he will tell you is the first of his kind. For the first time in 34 years, I'm building government. Who cares? Who cares, for goodness sake? Nobody really cares. Even before then, we had a conference center in Dorakunyele Women's Center where we used for events before. But it's just that what I'm saying in essence is that if we have people that are serious, they can actually use the money we have spent building that conference center. If you share it to the Anambra, before God and man, each family will get at least 10,000 naira. The whole of Anambra people. Each family will get 10,000 naira. But continue with your submission. I just want to point that out. Thank you. Max, are you there? Sorry, if you're speaking, if you're speaking. Okay, Max, we lost you. I am Paul. Are you there now? I am Paul. Are you there now? Okay, Ndukwe, let's have you.
No, my brothers. Good evening, my chief. Watching them. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Just add a
Okay.
little bit.
What I want to say. I've been listening. For a long time. What I wanted to say about what the God just had beat did today. That is just, to me, is very disgraceful. I would say because this thing has been doing this thing even before the elections, and it's still continuing being petty. It's not fair. If you want to campaign or do anything, so you have the right to support any political party of your choice, but it shouldn't make you say things that is not worth it. Not coming from, not talking about, you must not be an obedient or a Labour Party member. You in 2025, 2 years ahead before the general election, meaning 2 years ahead, and you are campaigning, which is even against the proceedings of INEC. Okay, so what the governor did today, to me, to Soludo is one of the worst governors in Southeast. I traveled to Onitsha, family there. If you're on ground, leave all these online recruits, online boys for doing saying all these things. I listen to Onyeka. Those things are just their lies. Soludo with the IGR of Anambra State, what Anambra represents when it comes to the growth of the region. Soludo is a disappointment. Me myself, I'm disappointed. I was born and bred in Onitsha. You understand? So you should focus on governance than all this trying to get relevancy from the from FG. To do your things, work, concentrate, do your play, or do this. You're not you have things to deliver to the Anambra and to the Igbo nation at large. You don't just be there selling narratives that are false. Ụzọ niile ọrụ Soludo na-arụ ma nke ọ na-arụ n'ọmụba kịta ọkịta gochitere ọmụba is it now that Soludo just woke up from sleep? So mine is that my own contribution is this: anybody supporting Soludo, what he's doing, remember that that is how life in politics returns. Okay, so that's my own contribution.
Okay, yeah, Ndukwe, thank you for your contribution. Uche, let me ask you, so how do you feel how do you feel, knowing fully well that Anambarians are actually helpless going into November election? Like, do you feel a certain type of way, maybe the same way I feel? Because I am angered, right, that we don't have anybody that we can rally around and say, let us even show our anger. You understand? Let's actually, because what we are going to be doing in November by Soludo winning elections is we are rewarding mediocrity, we are rewarding bad governance, we are rewarding poor performance. And that's my anger. So I am angry that we don't have a choice, that we don't have anybody that we can say, oh, let us build behind this person and say no. Because everybody, there is nobody. There's nobody. For the first time in Anambra State, we don't have anybody that is actually running for election that we can say this person is formidable or this person, this person is an option. How do you feel about it, Uche? Uche, it appears you have left the space. Are you still here? Are you still with us? Anyway, Chief Ikukoma, you might want to take that question. Chief Mwachinemere, sorry. Can you guys hear me? Am I the only person speaking on this space?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, you can hear me. Okay, fine. Uche, are you there? Okay, Uche, you're not here. Onyeka, are you here? Are you still here with me? Oh, okay. It appears as if Onyeka is not also
Okay,
here.
okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Chief, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, Chief, I can hear you, Chief.
Okay, okay. Our case, the case of the next election in Anambra State is likened to a case of Otuto Nam. Um, you know, um, it's a very sad and a very difficult one. But what I've told myself is it can never be as bad as the government of Tinubu. If we have been able to endure Tinubu's 3 years, almost 3 years in office, Anambra State, the worst Soludo can do is to become more petty, become pettier and call more. Because, of course, Obuno we know a second term, is going to go haywire. Absolutely. He's going to go 100% because now he knows he doesn't even have to do anything for anybody anymore. If in the first term he's performing, poorly or performing underwhelmingly, what do you think would happen when he gets there? So for me, I've actually zeroed my mind that whatever the outcome of this election in November is, let it be. Let him do his worst. No matter how bad it is, maybe Anambra State will descend to the state he was when Chinwoke Mbadnuju was there. That is the worst that can happen in Anambra State. That is the worst. If we will get there, I don't pray for us to get there, but if that is the worst that can happen, then so be it. Because we don't have option as in the Anambra. Maybe other people that are from Anambra don't get, when we talk about these things, when we shout, they might not. We don't have options anymore right now. As far as this election is concerned in Anambra State. So we are just, like people that are helpless, people that are in wilderness. So whatever Soludo brings, that's why it seems like everybody's moving into his camp. Because they can't do anything. They have nothing to offer. Money is not even coming to them. So they would rather just move into that party so that at least they will know they are shouting solution is here, solution is here. With 100,000 eke, with 200,000 eke, at least they'll be getting something. Because there's nobody to challenge anything. That was why I said, not like I'm supporting Val or anything, but it would have been, a better position politically if he had moved back to PDP. At least we will have someone that can challenge the status quo and say, okay, if we have a debate, at least I know Val was able to, square up to Soludo during the last, gubernatorial season. Is it Okachuku that will square up with Soludo? Have you listened to Okachuku speak before? Have you people listened to him? Kudumana. In fact, this is the case of the devil and the Red Sea. You will be like, beg, you be like, say, make a Soludo complete. Because if someone like Okachuku gets there, I don't even know how Oka will be like. I don't know. So, to be honest, it is sad, but that is our reality. We just have to embrace, the reality of mediocrity, the reality of economy, the reality of pettiness. That's what we're facing in Anambra State. I just saw the result of Statisense, what they posted. Anambra State is beginning to decline aggressively in education. So what it means is that the legacy of P2B on education is being watered down. And nobody's talking about on people getting five credits, including maths and English. In Anambra State is becoming a problem. Look at 2024, look at 2025 results. What is this man, a professor? That's why I said it appears like for him, that badge of
professorship, means to him, okay, he can speak everywhere, and nobody should be able to talk to him. After all, are you a professor? Do you have a PhD? And I'm looking at it, I think I'll have to just go back and get my own PhD too, if that is what it takes. Because that's what it is. Everybody following him around cannot even tell him anything. He will ask you, do you have PhD? How dare you call him? Do you have PhD to advise Soludo? You don't have, so that means you don't know more than him. For the fact that he has PhD, what it means is that he's all knowing, he's an encyclopedia. So you see that an average Anambrarian now is just wallowing in a state of uncertainty. No substance, no nothing to talk about. And the way they are now partnering with APC that has been performing so badly is something that is quite interesting to me. Because all of a sudden, all APC supporters are, literally supporting ABGA.
It makes a lot
And,
of sense. It makes a lot of
you know,
sense. It makes a lot
two
of sense
failures.
because let me tell you something. Because when we engage, when we talk about what Soludo is doing or what he's not doing right, a lot of people come with, still going to win. My friend, we are not talking about winning an election here. We are talking about the standard. I mean, if we do you know my problem with having Soludo to do this poor job? Do you know my problem? One of my biggest challenges is that we have been battling with a lot of people who made it a point of duty to castigate intellectuals in Alibo. There has been, should I say, a serious dichotomy between the Omata, the people who are so-called educated and who are not educated. And it is popular believed in Anambra State that right now that even professors cannot do anything because they have seen someone that has gotten to the peak of education deliver. We have been struggling or battling with this, and we have Soludo who epitomizes that academic excellence in government. God, you people don't understand what the implication, the implicit. One of the things that when I was talking to somebody, I told him that one of the implications is that people now will no longer, especially our people who are very, very, we have this success bias thing. Anything that is successful, we look at it and judge it from that success. But we don't care about any other thing. That's success, right? And if it is a failure, we also judge it that way. If Soludo has done incredibly well, and meet all the indices, we are going to elect anybody we are not going to elect anybody that is not a professor in Anambra State. That's how our people move. But now he has performed this poorly, right? When another professor comes on board, I am telling you, listen, people who are supporting him, especially those around him, are doing that because he is in government. By the time he leaves, he will see, just like what is happening to Obiano. It is when you leave in Anambra State that determines if you've done well or not when you are in government. When Peter was in government, Peter made himself very susceptible to criticism because he was always presenting himself. He was always on radio, answering calls. People would call on radio and be saying all manner of things, and he was taking them. He didn't go and bamboozle, like try to bully people, try to make people to. That was why the criticism against Peter was so rampant, and everybody had it. But now, people who work in government, people who are close to, who are opposition, nobody is talking because of the body language and the way Soludo operates. So Soludo now thinks that he's best in after sliced bread. He's building roads. Let me tell you, building road is so basic because that's what he's doing. He's building road, doing what they call building double lanes. That is incredible. I love that. We need double lanes. Anambra State, in Anambra, they don't know how to build. They build, their building pattern is very terrible. They bring their buildings to the road. I don't like that, and I like the fact that Soludo is expanding our roads. Most of our roads are very narrow. I like what he's doing in that department. But look at the indices. Look at the critical areas of like economy and security. These two key places, for example, on air today, when I was asked if I were to speak to president, what would I like him to do for Anambra? And I said, look, I'm not expecting anything from the president because I never supported him and I never supported anything that he's doing. So I am not expecting anything. They said, but what if they ask me to just choose two, some critical areas? And I mentioned two key things. I said, we need power. We need power. We need access to gas. Federal government needs to activate gas reticulation within the state. That's number one. Number two, we need security. Very critical, right? These two key things are the things that when you fix them or put them in place, Anambra State will rise again. But we have the president, we have the governor today who never mentioned any of this. Rather, he chose to play petty politics. That is the problem. Because at the end of the day, when you engage critical stakeholders, a lot of people say, hey, you not engage anybody, nobody spoke to you, I just formulated you, I just look, I don't want to come and start telling you the platforms where I belong to. I don't want to come and start telling you the people that I have spoken to. That is not my way. I don't do that. I can't come here and say I have spoken to this person. I will just say what I know or what I've heard. If you like, believe. If you don't like, leave it. The Soludo government that I am talking about, that I'm talking to, they know what I'm talking about because they have engaged these people. A very close friend of mine who happens to be, also a very strong business heads in the States, was complaining just last month how a very important business opportunity that was supposed to establish in Anambra State left as a result of the so-called solution incompetence. These are the issues, because if you are not doing these things, if you are not attracting business, keeping them here, taking care of the ones that are existing, and you are bamboozling the whole population with the solution is here, signpost and slogan, it's not what we are looking at. It's not what, like I said earlier in my earlier speech, for an average Anambra person, somebody who goes to work from his home every day, he would say Soludo is doing well. At least he's building road. Is that is very basic, and that's what majority of Anambra need: building of road. But that is not what we are talking about. As someone as Soludo, someone with his caliber, God, but he doesn't behave like him, like somebody that has attained that level of exposure. He doesn't move like that. And there are some things, I mean, if you have worked in a public space, you have worked in corporate space, you should understand what it means to work with your team. You understand what teamwork is all about. You should understand what it means to delegate responsibilities. But in Soludo's government, everything is decided on his table. If he's not around, nothing moves. And these people will be grumbling. They will be grumbling. When you engage them, okay, what do we do? Oh, the governor is not around. When he comes back, we will wait for governor arrival until he comes back. Then if he likes, if he's not happy with the person, he brings that pettiness even to governance. If he doesn't like your face, if he doesn't like... See, there's nothing Soludo wants to do in Anambra State that he cannot do. Soludo's boldness is very admirable. It's very
Which,
bold.
which,
He
which
can
you're
he can
saying,
he can take any decision he wants to take. So that's why I do not buy into any excuse. He has
which,
written
which,
letter to the sitting president, embarrass the sitting president, he has done all of that. So he has the ball. Look at the demolition that is going on. He doesn't even care about who's all is God. He's doing all these things, very courageous, right? But there are other issues that require that same element, that same attributes, but he's not bringing them. And that's why I called, I find those things very repulsive, because if you can bring such energy to other things like road construction, and you can bring that energy to other things like provision of power supply, or, revitalizing the economy of the state, making it very easier for the business that exists, and other critical areas, then I know you are not a serious person. You're not a serious person. Soludo is not a serious person. Ifeanyi has been complaining. Transportation is very critical in Anambra State, and Anambra State has the highest number of transport company owners. Ifeanyi has been talking about this whole thing. The challenges that we have is we experience, at the park, at all, points within the state. But what is the solution? What is Soludo doing about it? He continued with the same old method. The same old method. Equal second in criticize Soludo because now who is paying me to criticize Soludo? Do you know the kind of effort? Sometimes I no longer I do no longer want to engage any of them again. Anybody, I don't want to talk to you again. If your business is failing, don't come to my DM. Don't tell me what is happening in your department or whatever. I am tired. Some of them I ignore them. Some of the posts, some of the contents these Ronu rascals are posting are using to make jest of me or come to my. I am the one that posted them. I used to collect these things and post. The reason why I stopped is because I'm tired of all this whole nonsense. I am the one that there is this picture that is circulating right now. The picture is from my village. I am the one that went there and took that picture of the dilapidated secondary school in 2019. When I posted that picture, it went viral. My community people, I was in their platform when they were posting the picture, and they were so embarrassed. They didn't know I was the one that did it. They were so embarrassed. And today, if you go there, you will not recognize that school again. They have fixed every single thing. The chairman of the local government, my friend Chibeze, he posted it some time ago. So the reason is to bring attention to some of these leakages or lacks we have. The reason why I'm calling out Soludo is for him to step up, for him to delegate duties, for him to become the chief executive officer of not chief ambassador. What we are seeing in Anambra State is not what we are supposed to be seeing. The way Anambra State is being run is not where it should be. And that's what we are talking about. Okay? You are commissioning government house, beautiful. You are commissioning Farm City, beautiful. Where are the businesses? I can count how many businesses P2B attracted in Anambra State. And they are currently doing very well. All of them are doing very well. No single one of them has been affected by the economic downturn. None since he brought them. They are expanding. In fact, they are doing better. They are expanding. Sometimes when I engage them and I ask what exactly is going on, why are you guys still in business? But multinationals are leaving. They will tell me, oh God. But the good thing is that these businesses are still here. Mention one business Soludo has attracted in the state since he became governor. Mention one. Because as a business-oriented state, commerce and trade is very active in the state. We should have things like that going on. So honestly, if you're not embarrassed, listen, for those Soludo solution boys who always come to my mention to say nonsense. See, I know Sendona. If you guys like talk from now to tomorrow, I don't care. What I care about is Anambra. I live here. I want to build from here. I don't want to go to Lagos. I don't want to go to Abuja. I want to live here, and that's why I'm concerned. If for example, I am not living here, and all of these things are happening, or rather I would just join if I want, I would have joined you guys and start shouting Apuga, 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 and care less about these things, and you guys will share the money, the same money you guys are sharing. But I don't. That is not my business because I want to build here. So anytime when you see these people trying to make it look like we are criticizing Soludo unjustly, tell them to look at Abia State. Tell them look at. I don't want to even go to Enugu State. Tell them to look at Abia State. In every sector, bring it side by side. What Soludo is doing in this sector, health, what Alex Oti is doing in this sector, what Alex has attracted as business. I can tell you how many businesses. A friend of mine, we are in a group where we discuss about business opportunities and investment in the Southeast. And two persons that I know from China that are interested in bringing business in the Southeast, where is their destination? Abia State. And two of them are from Anambra. Where is their destination? Abia State. And they will tell you that it's because the Abia State governor is doing well. All right? And it was so seamless when they got into Abia State with their Chinese partner. It was so seamless. See, if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, because this thing be like, say, I did talk too much. Bring anybody, just camouflage, try to bring business in Anambra State. Then do the same thing to other states. It is very simple. You will see the one that will give you tough time. The one that will give you tough time, you will see it with your eyes. Rapụcha ya na apụtasị gị that na enwere ansịpa enwere nke nwa nwee nke ọzọ ihe niile abụ
Uche Uche na-atọ m. So Uche a sị na amarọ m igwe nyelụ onye isi ala unu, amarọ m igwe nyere ya okpu mmemme ejide, a sị na ọ bụ
Oh, you go. But so in fact, this is what they are. This is what they see. Apuga government. I think we need a new party in Anambra State so that Apuga will lead opposition because how they go too comfortable. If I just be a blue flag Apuga everywhere. No decorum, nothing. Just be behaving like as if this is a make I not talk from you.
Uche, remember when I told you that Soludo surrounded himself with primitive, people. I know why I made that statement. He has conditioned them. There's this social conditioning that he has perfected in their mind. That whatever he does, whatever he asks them to do, in fact, they are now behaving like zombie. They will not speak unless they are asked to speak. They cannot say anything unless they are told what to say. So if he asks them, oh yeah, bring all the Igwes, there's a Anambra, all of you have to come to Oka. If you don't come to Oka, they will dethrone you. You know the politics that happened with in regards to Igwe Onitsha. You know the politics that happened. And
Yes, I heard about that.
exactly, and how they played the whole thing. It was intentional. So now he's playing Igwende Obosi as Igwe being hired than Igwe Achebe. How is that even possible? It's very intentional. So now when they find them now, instead of okay, keka president yes we be na state on abu president oje obodo ndozo, the whole traditional rulers there will come. Ikwesi ije na obi ije eba anabatagi no case here. So Soludo has conditioned these people to be behaving like just zombies. And when we are saying this, they will be telling you, oh, keep crying. They don't even understand that their own life is going. They don't
Chief, I
understand.
was speaking to a Kedifa and Akpofa, this Igwe cabinet, a very popular Igwe in Anambra here. Okay, let me just say Igwe Oka, right? I was speaking to one of his cabinet members, and he was saying that the way he said it was funny. I think I made a post about it. He said, how did he put it? He said he does not concern himself with what Bushman has to say about their community. That how can a Bushman come from? He asked me what is the name of his community again. Now, this is how these guys see him, despite the fact that they will come out and say, Apple guy solution, but behind they are going to say these things. He was suggesting that Soludo is a Bushman that comes from Ethiopia because of the name of his town. He asked me what is the name of Soludo's town. I said Ethiopia. He said Ofia Abi. I said yes. He said okay. What is the meaning of Ofia? I said bush. I said you see, how can I concern myself with what a Bushman has to say about his community? Like it was funny, but the point he's making is that why should Soludo be, interfering in their community kingship business? That he has been doing this thing, going around causing confusion. That when he leaves, they are going to fix their community. That they don't care. That they don't really care about what he has to say, right? That it is what the people of the community has to say. The people of the community have to say that will matter. That's what he said. And when he made that statement, I see his post how he talk about Apga, how he praises Soludo, and at the same time he has this mindset towards the same Soludo. What does that tell you? It tells me that people who are around Soludo tells him they tell him what he wants to hear, right? They tell him what he wants to hear because that is the kind of person he is. He doesn't like to hear anybody criticizing him or saying anything negative. So they understand that and they tell him these beautiful things. And when he hear those things, he acts on them.
likes gossips. You got to go when you structure the way he structures his government, the way he structures his government, the way he runs it makes it very easier for Asile to thrive. You have to go, but when you have responsibility assigned and delegated, interference. We do meeting every single day, 8 o'clock. People come and deliberate on day-to-day activity. That is how you're supposed to run government.
Uche, have you seen how Professor Onya, is it not Professor Chidebere Onya in Enugu State? Have you seen how he coordinates as secretary to the government in Enugu State? Have you seen how his stand-up meeting? Have you seen a
You
clip of his
just
stand-up
see all these
meeting?
things. If you go to his page on Twitter, you see
Sky,
every
Jesus
single thing.
Christ.
Who is his counterpart in Anambra here? You see even departments like Ministry of the Health, the Water Corporation, they all have a Twitter page, social media page, being engaged. They are what's it called? The health facilities. The Enugu State has a social media health facility that monitors, that talks about every single thing, updates every single thing. And there is also a hotline for engagement. And when anything of that similar, the only person they go active from Anambra State to the media aid. So say if other person, nobody, the Anambra State website, every single thing they're bound outdated. Every information
They
is
are not
outdated.
accountable to us. They don't care about, because again, anyway, Uche, let's move the mic. Let's get I am Paul. You've been here before and then you dropped and come back. Please, let's have your opinion on the topic.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening. Please go ahead. 5 minutes.
Yeah, actually, I'm not really here to emphasize on the word. Like, I really need people help, though. Like, I'm just diaspora. Like, I really need help for me to have something to eat, please. I I do cleaning, but I've not been seeing customer like that. Like everywhere it just somehow. But I pray God will see us through. I'm sorry. This is just what I want to say. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So I am Paul. First of this is actually not the space for. I mean, we are having a very serious conversation here, but you can actually send a DM. So we can take it off from there. Anyways, guys.
Thank you.
You know, I'm very disappointed na Apuga, the supposed party of Anambra. Before
I like the way you called it the supposed party of Anambra, because that party is no longer Igbo party. Let me tell
exactly.
you why.
Okay.
Last election, right? Gubernatorial election. Wamu no any state we put a Apuga candidate Soludo Jaluje raise their hand. Just mention one. Just one. Enugu
Even
State has Frank Nweke Jr.
even his
Very qualified
presidential
candidate.
candidate, even
In fact,
the presidential candidate Umadi, did Governor Soludo campaign for him? That's the
he
question.
didn't go to Enugu. He didn't go to Ebonyi, and these two states had very brilliant, candidates. Nothing, no contribution whatsoever.
Yeah, I remember
So he
Professor
doesn't
Odo.
even believe in
Professor
the
Odo, yeah,
party Apuga on here. He
in
doesn't
Apuga.
believe. They know this thing. The Apuga chieftains, they know this thing. Fajos no na micromanage here, because here so they are trying to micromanage him. The point is that he does not even believe in the whatever. He just trying to, like he said during PDP. PDP is just how did he describe PDP? PDP is just a vehicle to the power. That's how he described PDP. And he doesn't really believe in all of this. And when somebody said to me that, which I know you have personal problem with. I don't have personal problem with Soludo. Let me make it very clear. I don't have personal problem with. I have refused to respond to a lot of all the
insults and attacks towards me because of my position on his government. I am saying this clearly. I do not have any personal problem with Soludo. I have a problem with the way he's dealing with Anambra. So he wastes our time. When I look at what is happening in Enugu State, when I look at what is happening in Abia, I feel jealous. If I hear that investment is going to another state and nothing is coming here, it vex me.
Let me tell
Why
you.
shouldn't we have it?
Let me tell you,
We have
the
a
only
professor that
state,
has the contact that can attract all manner of investment opportunity. Why is he not bringing it here? What is going on? What is stopping him? What exactly is the reason? Who can tell us?
the only governor in the whole of Southeast that Soludo performs better than is Ebonyi State. Even Hope Uzodinma, I can bet with my socrutum that Hope Uzodinma is performing better than Governor Soludo. And I'll give you just very simple, instance. Go to Governor Soludo is expanding the road from Amobia down to Oga. Hope Uzodinma is expanding from Akokwa, down to Olo. Uche, go and see the quality of construction that is happening from Akokwa. The same Akokwa that you just pass Ogan, you enter Akokwa. Go and check the construction. Check the difference. See the quality. This thing is very simple thing. It's not rocket science. So the issue is that we have somebody that is known, synonymous, and okay and comfortable with mediocrity. That is what we have in Anambra. There's no other explanation. Because even people in his government believes that GELD company, they are better in construction of road than Kremborg. That is the people we have in Agoka that don't even know anything about construction, whatever. And check the people that the essays to governors in Imo State, check the ones in Abia, check the ones in Enugu. Check how they communicate. Check how they respond to people. Check the ones in Anambra. Check the errats that we have. That I am embarrassed with everything that has to do with Governor Soludo. Every single thing. How can Anambra? We have the man that owns, that owns EEDC. Anambra, other states are leaving Anambra. The whole of Abia State, Governor Alex Otti is trying to get the remaining 9 local governments that are not, part of Aba Power right now. They want to take it over from EEDC so that they can give Aba, because they just commissioned, Olusegun Obasanjo just commissioned another, part of not even the so-called road that is building. None of them you can see quality. Uche, are you not seeing Owerri? Have you not seen the wideness of the road in Owerri? Are you not seeing how the roads in Owerri are quality? Have you see the day I drove from Olo down to Owerri, 42 kilometers of road stretch. The design of the road, every single thing. I said, I tweeted about it. I said, this is the best road I've ever seen in Southeast. The attention to details, the quality, the kind of people that manage. You see everything. You know that this person has no taste. Why is it that our governor is the only governor that does not have taste in the whole of Southeast? Why? Why can't you build a certain thing and we can beat our hands on our chest and say, no, Ofman at this particular one. Everything, stone base last 20 years. But after 2 months, one caterpillar one the road will start failing. Is that the kind of person that we are going to reward another? I mean, I'm really ashamed. Like I feel embarrassed anytime I think of Anambra. For a governor that lived, I know Governor Soludo's house in Abuja. For a governor that lived in Abuja, that understands what it means to construct quality roads and to build infrastructure to last. For a governor like that we bring to Anambra with all the access, with all the money that Soludo has access to, because every time they want to compare his government with that of P2B, at the time P2B was the governor of Anambra State, he had access to less than 500 billion throughout his 8 years as a governor. Soludo in a year alone in Anambra State has access to over 400 billion. Only FAC allocation is almost 300 billion. Almost 300 billion. So you don't want to talk about the internal generated revenue. We are not talking about the grants and every other thing that he gets. So how can somebody like that now come back and then you're not able to build any meaningful thing that to the extent that we are going to disgrace ourselves to the point where a president is coming to commission a playground that one simple person can come down from America, change $1 million and build something way better than that. I beg, here in a moment, I beg. This thing is this thing. Anyways, guys, I mean, I think we should wrap up the conversation this night. Because I just wanted to vent. It's not as if you guys know I'm not really a space person, but I was so angry when I saw the whole, the whole project. They said the president was going to, commission in Anambra, and I just felt like I wanted to vent. I just wanted to talk about it. Uche, you can,
What
make
I'm
a
saying is that
final solution.
Soludo was elected as a professor of economics, and he has worked in CBN. These are the things that he used to brag about. I remember watching him on during the live debates and how he was bragging about his achievements in the office. One would expect, of course, I saw through him. That's why I never supported him. I never voted for him. I didn't vote for Soludo. I'm saying it here for those people, for those of you who always come to my mention to say that I voted. I'm one of those that I never voted for Soludo, for the record, because of his antecedents. I followed him. I remember how he fought Okonjiwala. I remember how he fought Dora Kunyili and Jonathan. I remember all of that. I remember his position during the PDP election in Anambra State. I remember everything, and I never liked the fact that he has a very a bad character. He has a character flaw, and these things were highlighted by Dora Kunyili of blessed memory. So I remember all those things. It's one of the things that made me not to see him as a better candidate. But the majority of Anambra said otherwise, which I flowed with. When he was elected, I started I said to a lot of people, look, we have to support him. In fact, even our group, I said it, we have to support him. He's now a governor, so we have to put aside everything. And that was how the opposition somehow went to bed. Now, what happened? 1 year later, 2 years later, he started writing Edemede, episode. And people were like, what is going on? We allowed you to just do your thing. Writing letters and Edemede is not is not part of it. Then, as if that wasn't enough, he started calling people name, calling us name, and deploying his attacking dogs online to do his bidding, and clearly aligning with these guys, rascals that are always, saying rubbish. I saw that as an affront, and again, Soludo is he might have grown in the village, but he's not a well-grounded Igbo man. He is very superficial. I see him as someone that is is either that he's very superficial or he's just selfish or blind. So there are a lot of decisions, a lot of things. If you read that letter, see, beyond the fact that some of us are supporting P2B and he wrote that letter and that letter got us, beyond that, look beyond that. Look at the undertone of that letter. If you read that letter and look at the undertone of that letter, you see the person of Soludo. You see that person. You ask yourself, is this person capable of bringing something good to Anambra State? Look beyond what he said about Pito, which I no longer care. But the language and everything he spewed on that content, does it really tell you, as you know, that this person is capable of bringing something positive to Anambra State? You need to have positive energy for you to attract that. But anyway, that's by the way. So fast forward to, even I remember when some of you may recall that I used to host spaces to have meeting with the transition committee chairman, and I was also part of the transition committee. I used to have meeting midnight, 1 p.m., 1 a.m. We'll be having meeting, discussing the transition, discussing the way forward, Anambra State. It was super exciting, right? I was in the meeting where they were having all this conversation. All of a sudden, there was some sort of agitation from the political party that the outsiders are beginning to get involved, and the people who really fought the battle are being sidelined. Some of these things we are beginning to get some hold. Even though I know that Soludo himself, he doesn't really care about these things. See, Soludo, I know, is a very brave man, right? He is very brave. He takes decision. He cares less about whose ox is God. But for him to reneged and went back to doing things the old way, shows that he's not a serious person, right? And after that, he started making a lot of statements, seditious statements that are not supposed to be found anywhere in the mouth of a governor of Anambra State. You know why? Because Anambra State has always been a hotbed for political violence. There is no state that has experienced political violence like Anambra State. And thanks to Peter Obi, one of the biggest, in fact, a lot of people talk about infrastructure and whatever. My biggest, achievement from Peter Obi is bringing sanity to Anambra State, right? That is the biggest achievement I see, beyond every other thing people talk about, because that's Anambra State before P2B was a chaotic place. And when you bring this type of behavior, bring this type of language, spin, this bitter language in the political scene like Anambra State, you are inviting this element back. And not only he was spewing these things, he was going to meet some of these elements who brought our state to its knee during the dark ages. He brought them back into the government. He brought them back into power. And right now, they are now beginning to even place people in power, put people in power. They are beginning. I don't want to mention them. You people know who I'm talking about. So these are the signs that gave me insight that, look, this man Obiakweba for governance, Obiakweba in the politics. He's here to play politics with our lives. And it gave me serious concern because Soludo represents a lot of things. Like I said earlier, he represents the academians. He represents the intellectuals. He represents a lot of things that, and the fact that we are battling with some people or some elements in our society who are always having negative things to say about this class of people who are intelligent, intellectuals, or the educated. And Soludo represents this class. So he needs to do very well to represent this class very well. Only for him to go and start playing the local politics like the village headmaster, like village champion. And this whole thing it's not making sense. Honestly, it's not making sense. For some of us who are looking at it critically, beyond 2025 election or 20 beyond his reign in Anambra State, we are looking beyond. We are looking at a precedence. What is going to set because whatever he does now is going to set a precedence for the next coming leader. If he does well, and if he does well, and we have people who are very educated coming to Anambra State to govern Anambra State, they are likely going to get it. But if he fails, if he performs very badly, it's going to give intellectuals, the academians, very bad image, right? And it will make this the so-called the uneducated, let me use the word uneducated, that we have that have been battling with us in the state or in the region, give them the impetus to be much more vocal in political electioneering. I don't like seeing them, all those poorly educated ones in our election. I don't like seeing them at all. I don't like seeing them. I don't know about you, but for me, I don't like seeing. If you see those, when you people know who I'm talking about, those money misroad that always think that they can use money to come and govern Anambra. I don't like seeing them in our political scene because they set a very bad precedence for us. They set a very bad example. They are very bad role models. They are the ones that inspire our youth to go make money anyhow, and come and become Oga. So I don't want to have them anywhere in the politics. So, but when you have someone like Soludo who is not living up to the expectation, you are giving room to these people to come and experiment, and we don't want that, right? That is
I
that
agree
that is a
with
very
you.
fundamental key point. Now, another one is that I just want to let all of us know that look, Soludo, being the governor of Anambra State, has not really done well economically, like uplifting the Anambra State economy from point A to point B, or from point 0 to point 10, or wherever. He has not really done that. If he has done that, let me know. If maybe some of us are not aware, but I live in this state. I know exactly what's going on here. I haven't really seen Soludo take that bold initiative to attract businesses. I see business opportunities. I see other states attracting businesses. What are the moves? What are the moves from Soludo? What are those moves? If you Google the top 10 business destination in Nigeria, will Anambra State pop up? If you Google it on your phone right now, I know somebody who I am talking with about bringing investors from China, and some of the things he said was that these people are making their own research, because I was trying to convince them to get this business to either Anambra, Enugu, or Aba. And he told me that these people are making their own research. They make their own research. And where do they source their research from? Online. So when they Google online about business opportunity, where do you think that will pop up? Is Anambra State doing anything about it? Are they doing anything about it? If you Google Anambra State business opportunity, what are you going to see? If you Google Nigeria business opportunity, what are you going to see? What states are going to pop up? These are the very fundamental things that I see Anambra State lagging behind in. If you check, Abia State, Enugu State is topping the list. They are among the places where you usually see online when you check it online. If you check it anywhere, you see Enugu State and Abia State. And there is also power in the mouth. People testimony, right? People are giving testimony about what is happening in Abia State. How many persons are giving testimony of what is happening in Anambra State? It is because there is nothing happening. So we can't give testimony that is not real. We are building new government house and people are not feeling it. People are not testifying that this thing is impacting them positively. We are building fun city and people are not testifying that is affecting them. That is to show you that you are doing the wrong thing. But you don't want to listen because you are looking for things that will massage your ego as the first governor to ever do the first this one and first that one and first that one. That's not what we are here for. So I just want to make that clear.
All right, Uche, thank you so much. So guys, I mean, a couple of people are saying on the that I'm not giving them mic, but I have not seen anybody request for mic that I didn't accept. I don't know. Maybe it's your network, guys. But since I haven't seen any of you that want to maybe tell us why Governor Soludo would endorse a president that is not even up to halfway time into the governance and all. Maybe we should call it a quit, yeah, for tonight. I just wanted to rant. I mean, I'm not really a space person. I can come to spaces and speak, but I usually don't host. I mean, I'm not a big fan of it. But yeah, it okay, Max. Max, you were speaking before. Maybe I should bring you up to just quickly make your submission so that we can wrap it up. Max, are you here?
Yeah, Jack, I was going to tell you, which was even one-on-one question I wanted asking Uche. You see, Soludo is beginning to notice. I could be wrong, but this is what I believe he's beginning to notice. Soludo somehow is beginning to notice that he might as well not win second term. Then, secondly, he also noticed that in reference to what happened in a Do election, he
But
also
but, but 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 who is going to challenge him in Anambra, in your opinion? What is he noticing? Because as far as I'm concerned, there is nobody that is even interested, honestly. Because is there anybody you can say now that in Anambra election coming up this November that has what it takes to even challenge, to even win one local government in Anambra at the moment? Is there
now,
anybody you're seeing? Maybe I'm not seeing the person, but you
now,
just
now,
enlighten me.
now, the issue now in Nigeria is not about actually who wins election in terms of number of votes. It is about whom the INEC announces as a winner. If what happened in Edo can happen in Edo, it can happen anywhere. That is why, because the last statement you made is that you have not seen anybody who would explain to you why Soludo will invite and then endorse a president that is at where he is in Nigeria, maybe in terms of achievement and his period in office. He's somehow afraid because he knows that he might as well, for instance, because in your own language, there are no competent competitor. He might as well get 10 million votes, for instance. And the other person, maybe an APC person, might get just 100,000 votes, but he's going to be announced as a winner. Nigeria now is not about who gets the most vote. It is about whom INEC announces as the winner. And that is why he quickly not only invited the president and was dancing boga for him, and their two were feeling happy, even though he knew that nothing has come from that president to Southeast. For instance, the roadblocks and checkpoints in the whole of Anambra was almost dismantled because Tinubu was going there, which tells you that the roadblock was not for security, it was for extortion. Because if it's for security and president is visiting Anambra, they will even quadruple it, to give him more security. But they quickly remove almost all of them because it was for extortion and they do not want them to be an obstruction or seen by the president. So that is what I believe.
Okay, I get your point, and I think I kind of agree with you to a large extent. But anyway, guys, so I'm going to end the space now. This is 9 o'clock already. This was exactly the time I wanted to make sure that the space must have rounded up. So thank you everyone for listening. I mean, once in a while like this, I rant. So you can as well join me anytime I'm ranting and just listen to some of the things.